The EUniverse is back with a very quick update because teams all over Europe are locking in their EUMasters spots or fighting their way through playoffs. No time to lose, let's get you up to date.
Hey guys, let's go with the weekly update from Superliga.
Estoy mareada de verdad. ¿Tú eres Clean realmente?
Bueno, Dual, no creo que esto se salga bien, no, esto ya no.
A ver,
Un 1
Dual,
para
no
5
te puede salir
no.
bien. Salir bien.
No,
No me lo estoy creyendo, no me lo estoy creyendo. Dual se ha muerto, pero ¿qué ha hecho Max?
Ha desintegrado Dual, que se está riendo, tira el TP Ruby.
Yeah, I'm definitely recommending to you the Riders versus Betis. All praise Maxlor, our lord. My god, the way this guy just plays League. Wow. This is going to be our last week of regular split, and we have 5 out of 6 teams locked for playoffs. 3 teams are fighting for the last spot: Giants, STV, and Team Queso. Almost everything will be decided on Monday. Yeah, it will have already happened when this video airs, in the STV versus Team Queso. For Giants' options, it's important that STV wins, since they have their direct record won after an agonic game with 9 pauses that ended with Giants' victory, and they have the direct record lost versus Team Queso. Things are also tied at the top of the standings, with the possibility of all top 4 teams to secure the first spot and the EUMasters. There's still so much to be decided, and we will probably face some tiebreakers for the last playoff spot, for the winner of the regular split, or even both. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next EUpdate.
Hi guys, how are you doing? It's good to be back. I'm Maguire and I'll bring you the latest news from Ultraliga. But before that, take a look at the long-coming Pokestyles Pentakill.
Ile tych błędów się pojawia, bo
szuka, ale nie znajdzie.
tak naprawdę Sakrę.
Zegarek co prawda w tym momencie użyty, ale Leku tylko czeka, jednak miał wszystko podbicie i Pokestyle ponownie na swoim czele, ale Leku wbija go w ścianę! Jednak w tym momencie Guardian Angel, to Leku będzie w terapatak, a Sakry ponownie podbija jednego, drugiego, trzeciego, czwartego i wszyscy są po prostu w powietrzu! Ręce w górę, Illuminar Gaming, bo klawiatury musicie puścić po takim teamfajcie! Taki wywóz zaprezentowała wam Kick w 37 minucie.
Jest szansa na pętę dla Pokestyla! Czy to będzie w końcu tak?
Jest! Mamy to! Po całej tej klątwie związanej z quadra-killami w końcu zdobywa pentakilla w Ultralidze.
Last week we finished the regular season of Polish League and a total of 5 teams qualified for the playoff stage. So, who are these guys? Let's start off with EUMasters. They have been with Ultraliga from the very beginning and won the very first season, but since then they have never rose up to the top again. Finishing with a quite familiar 7-7 scoreline, they are in the underdog position. The strength of the team lays in their jungler. Chris is not afraid to pick early game champions and make things happen in the first minutes of the game. Usually, EUMasters performs best when their jungler is ahead. However, it's Zamulek who is the main carry of the team. This season, he was responsible for dealing over 30% of his team's damage. EUMasters struggled to find consistency throughout the regular season, leaving us with a big question mark ahead of the playoffs. Kick is the 4th best team this split, but they have been ramping up towards the end of the season, showing they are forced to reckon with after beating Aga Rogue. Historically, Kick was best in BO5s, and players are quite confident in their ability to qualify for EUMasters. Stefan and Raxo have proven to be the pivotal point of the formation with great jungle support synergy. Kick usually focuses on objective control, securing almost 80% of ERLs in their games. They will face EUMasters in the lower bracket this Wednesday. On the lowest step of podium is PDW, with the same result as Kick, but with 2-0 head-to-head against them. Brunis showed his strength of being one of the smartest junglers in the league and reuniting in a strong mid-jungle duo with Chayek. With OD11 in the bot lane, one of the most flexible players in the league, PDW showed many surprising compositions, making them a really dangerous team in best-of-5 format. One BO5 win from EUMasters is Team SK Gaming, who locked in 2nd place with scaling compositions and late-game team fighting skills. Don't be surprised to see Kale and Cassidy banned, as those two are David Sonic's legendary picks. Even though SK likes to drag the games out, they showed us some early game promise, with Zeoner playing around Yaken, who can pull out his signature champs in Fiora and Olaf. It still remains unknown how they will perform in the playoffs, as they are facing PDW in the upper bracket this Tuesday. And the cherry on top is Agorog, winning their 6th consecutive regular season. With a roster packed with the best players in the league, they come into the playoffs as strong favorites. The player who stands out from the rest of the league is Lacker, who has 13.5 KDA to his name and deals 677 damage per minute. The unsung hero of the formation for sure is Cress, who pulled out 12 different champions and outperformed every other mid laner this split. Ultraliga may not be the scariest ERL this year, but don't make the mistake of disrespecting Polish teams. It's high time Poland showed its strength on the European scene once again. See ya!
Hello everyone, I'm Cameron here. I'm ready to introduce you to Baltic EUMasters newest updates.
Gaskilla maybe wants to take it down right here, right now to smack down the challenge of Iron Wolves. Yulbu is in, he's got the fear, onto Champion, pushed into Resurrection, and goes Warden under the tower, but drives straight back out, can't go 2-2. Champion gets shot down, and ZTI goes into stasis to survive. Gaskilla, maybe they've overstepped right here.
So, last week things got really interesting last day of the split. We had the fight for the 4th place between Vortex and Method Madness, and also the fight for the 1st place between Ironwaves and Ghostland. What happened? Well, Vortex won the game versus Medieval Rigor, securing the last slate going into playoffs, leaving Method Madness out of the competition. And in a very interesting game that I do recommend you to watch, Ironwaves took the win away from Goshkla, and since they have won versus them in previous occasions, they took the 1st place first week. That means that they are going to be able to choose their opponent in the next stages. So this is how the rankings looked afterwards. Ironwaves took the 1st place, Goshkla took the 2nd one, Box Animal and Vortex following closely. So, as you can see here too, from 0 to hero teams like Vortex and Ironwaves, and 2 Titans like Gox Animal and Goshkla. So next week we will explain how things are gonna go into playoffs, but for now this is Cameron, host of Baltic EUMasters, sign off. Thank you for watching, good luck to everything involved. Bye!
Hey, what's up? Didn't see you there. You know what time it is? It's playoffs time.
Ou consegue aquilo que não tem há um imenso tempo, que é a posição sobre o rio. Infelizmente não tem HP suficiente para manter essa mesma posição. Papitiro! Perde a GA. 5 jogadores ainda por parte da equipe de Carlos. Sai o Smith lá para o meio também. Drifter Infinity será o primeiro a tentar fugir dali para fora. Beat cai. O Embo mais uma vez pronto vai na carry. Mais uma vez a funcionar porque a Calista não morre. O que é isto, o Embo? Double kill Papitiro. O jogo.
The LPLOL regular season has ended. And now what, you might be wondering? Well, it is playoffs time. This last week was defined by 2 teams that managed to not only get playoffs, which is the case of Karma Clan, that went on a 2-0 week just to claw that last place, but also for Offset Esports, who managed to continue their win streak, finishing with an 8-game win streak as they beat both For the Win and White Dragons to claw that 1st place spot. The rest of the table, unfortunately, makes us say goodbye to EGN and E5, who are both going to go through relegations to make sure they want to stay in the LPLOL for next year. GTZ and Boavista, though, they went for a tiebreaker for 5th place, where Boavista clawed their victory. If I had to choose a game from last week to watch, I would say For the Win versus Offset, as For the Win had the advantage for most of the game, but Offset manages to claw it out and keep their 1st place dreams alive. Looking forward to playoffs, we will have Offset versus Karma Clan, and of course Offset are very favored in that matchup, but Karma Clan are usually known as the Kingslayers. On the other side of the bracket, we have a rematch of the finals for Spring Split, White Dragons versus For the Win. We'll once again battle it out on a best of 5 to see who makes it to EUMasters. As for me, I have been Anifar, and I'll see you in playoffs.
I need a minute. It's BENELUX Super Week. We have playoffs left, right and center. Best of fives out of the wazoo. It's a madhouse and I need to set you guys up for all this action. Let's go, caffeine!
Wat misschien wel eens de volledige lengte zou kunnen gaan als we zien hoe dat deze teams op het moment aan het spelen zijn. Die gold lead die heel lang consistent was, die is nu al wat gegroeid. En hier komt de paranoia net op de resets. En dat is misschien sliver. Dit is de fight die Sector 1 nodig heeft misschien om de game te finishen. Want daar komt Dr. Chaos met de quickness. Ze vinden daar zelfs Urban nog. En Jaar komt heel veel healing, Jaar komt veel damage. Maar Mikkel zit hier nu in de problemen. Heel veel members van Sector 1 willen Mikkel neerhalen. Hij is de carry, hij treedt nog wel. Mikkel, wat doe je allemaal? Je vindt daar 2 kills. Tuamari leeft, Ore leeft en Zergot leeft. Maar deze fight is veel closer dan ik had verwacht. Uiteindelijk is het wel Sector 1 die hier weet te winnen. Misschien Bardo met de flash weg. Kan hij de outleaf in tegen Zergot? Maar 1 basic attack heeft daar bijna heel zijn healthbar weg. Hij gaat neer in zijn GA. Maar ik denk dat Ore deze game misschien kan finishen.
I'm so very sorry. I don't know what came over me. It's Super Week. I'm just way too excited. So let's just get into it. I'll get you set up for Belgian and Dutch League, both with the last week of play because it was very important for the actual seeding going into playoffs, and then get you up to date with what's happening in those playoffs. Let's start with the Belgian League. So in the end, every single game counted in week 8. There was a battle in the top of the standings for seeding, and there was a battle for that 4th playoff spot. If we pull up the actual standings, you can see that Sector 1 won it out. In the end, they are the first seed going into playoffs because they have the 2-0 head-to-head over KVM, winning those games in the regular season in a dominant fashion, even though they lost 2 games against Genk and 7am. So the playoffs, they might still be a tight race. Followed by KVM with the same scoreline, still the same playstyle, very chaotic, fighting you really dirty around all objectives, just trying with their creative drafts to get an edge. And then you have Genk dropping off a bit at the end of the season, playing some sort of strong side top, while 7am seems to be doing the same in their wins, but they are picking it up at the end of the season. If we take a look at the bracket of the Belgian League, I said I wasn't gonna do it to all my ERL co-caster friends, but in the end I can't get over what happened, so I'm doing it anyways. KVM won against Sector 1. Scrap whatever I said about Sector 1, they got down and dirty with KVM around objectives and they got slapped back to the lower bracket. Knockdown a peg, they will have to wait for the winner of the match of today because I'm recording this in between all the madness of Genk and 7am. So playoffs in the Belgian League is already surprising. Then let's go take a look at our sister league in the Netherlands, the Dutch League. So in the Dutch League, I'm not gonna lie, it all felt really scripted. Every single match counted. You had a battle in the top of the standings where it still wasn't really defined what seeds every team would get. And then you had a battle for that 4th seed. If we take a look at the standings, in the end PSV was way too consistent, only dropped 1 game. They are also the favorite going into playoffs. They play clean League of Legends, much the same as Sector 1. Strong laners, Flaxis, Kramel, Kevo, give them a lead. You see the jungler just gravitating towards them, and that's how they get an early lead and try to finish the game from there. Right underneath, you had Echo Zulu clutch out that 2nd spot, and that's exactly how they play. You have Oman, the mid laner, his obvious rockers, he's just a clutch factor, and that's how Echo Zulu, even though they have deficits at 15 minutes, get their wins. MCon started the season really strong, have a roster built to compete for that 1st slot, but they dropped off in the end, 3 losses in a row, and that's why they're at the 3rd seed and they have to make it work from the lower bracket. And then you had the heartbreak again for our most storied orc, the Lowland Lions, because they, yet again, 2nd season in a row, just didn't quite make it to the playoffs. Trill took that spot, and they have to fight from the lower bracket to try to win the league. Looking at the bracket and looking at what happened, PSV actually solidified their position as favorite in the league. They won 3-1 over Echo Zulu. Echo Zulu couldn't really clutch out a lot of things, even though they tried Yasuo bot lane. And the thing was, it wasn't really clean from PSV, but it got the job done. 3-1, they go to the finals, and they get time to work on their form. So Echo Zulu goes to the lower bracket, and then this Thursday we will have the battle that's pretty insane between MCon and Thrill. I don't think anyone expected that, but yeah, that's gonna be the match this Thursday. So yeah, that was Belgian and Dutch League in some sleep-deprived caffeine craze, whatever. If it was too sloppy, I'm very sorry. I'm actually really tired. It wasn't a skit, but it's insane. Like, I'm enjoying the playoffs so much. I'm rambling. Just cut to the... I am the editor. Future Dino, cut to the next ERL.
Hello everyone, Moonboy here from the PG Nationals. Let's talk playoffs, shall we?
Se l'avrebbe sciolto prima tutti gli altri.
Sì.
tutto qua.
Missile.
Parte. A questo giro ancora una volta però. Widowmaker. Arriva la frattura glaciale. Danni enormi su Tinelli, ma Tinelli resiste perché c'è la Suprema. Adesso cede quella barriera. I danni però di Sandy. Heavy carry, soltanto l'unico rimanere in vita. Ce la possono fare. I Samsung hanno vinto. Devono soltanto tirare dritto. Quadrupla uccisione da parte di Sandy. Non ci credo! Finisce così dunque questa seconda partita per i Samsung Monitor.
So sorry we weren't in the last week's episode. You know, we were too busy celebrating Italy's win at the Euro Cup. And also we had a break week, so we didn't play any games. But this time, we had some banger series to start off playoffs. Machko and Outplayed started off their winner bracket run by sweeping their opponents in clean fashion. But don't let the 3-0 distract you from the fact that these were amazing series. Machko rolled up with a Nasus mid that straight up won them 2 games and forced a ban in the third one, while Outplayed showcased an insatiable aggression throughout their series, and we even got to see the Haste Graves in the mid lane to lock up the 3-0. Close, but no cigar. It wasn't close. It wasn't close at all. I just had to make the cigar joke, you know? Anyway, the real surprise came in the lower bracket, where GG Esports knocked out Samsung Morningstars. SMS had just won 2 games against them in the last day of regular season, counting the tiebreaker, but GGE actually dominated them, advancing to face Axolotl in our first match of next week. And that's all from me for this week. I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm drenched in sweat. It's so hot. It's so hot. Why is it so hot? Global warming. Yep, it's global warming. Alright. See ya!
Welcome to another update of the Primeleague. This time's Playoffs, baby.
Ausgelöst bekommt und dann langfristig Tippert bekommt. Das ist aber jetzt fast schon zu spät. Drake spawnt in 5 Sekunden, also.
Mal wieder der Poke. Hier, die Leona Ultimate Melodic ist da. Sofort exhausted. Aber 2 Hours ist down. Und jetzt aber der Kick auf Melonic. Wunderstarkes Victor B hier. Und das könnte den Fight hier sogar gewinnen. Und auch das muss hier der Drake sein. Das ist der Fight für Big SK. Das war nicht gut in diesem Chokepoint da zu fighten. Und Big übernimmt jetzt den Fight oder auch den Drake.
After a beautiful season with a lot of winning streaks and losing streaks, we managed to determine the 6 teams going into playoffs. Our playoffs teams are Penta, Mousesports, Big, SK Prime, Gamer Legion and EV Einfach. Because of the new format, first place of the regular season instantly goes to the finals, second place to semi-finals. That also means they are qualified for the EUMasters. The second place was fought out in a tiebreaker match between Mousesports and Big. The first place went to Penta. The first round of playoffs were matches between Big and Eevee and SK Prime vs Gamer Legion. Both of these series delivered and went to 3 long games, and where they were so exciting to watch. SK Prime and Big managed to win the series 2-1. Going into the second round of playoffs, Big vs SK Prime were fighting for the last place at the EUMasters. Big managed to win the series 3-1 and is now fighting for a chance to defend their title. Big vs Mouse, our semi-final match, 18 CST, make sure you don't miss it. That's it for this time. See you, bye bye.
Hey there, I'm Orcs, cast of the NLC, and I'm here to break down what's been going on with our playoffs.
Yeah, that should just be the Baron War team fight, and honestly, I feel like Riddle minorly misplayed, or most likely Sloku, he brought Orome out of the team fight to try and get his own way back in, and I think Riddle probably would have executed the Renekton without it. I mean, the Baron being bursted, MC, can he do it?
MC coming in, he's coming in,
he's got it!
MC with the steal!
And he's out!
The lantern from PlayStation, Riddle! Absolutely flawless execution there!
We actually have our second round kicking off today, so be sure to tune in if you get the chance. The big news is Excel getting knocked out. They struggled to find their footing on the back of their long spring season leading to EUM finals, and just as it felt like they were getting their mojo back, they had Markun and Advian moved up the LEC, and it really hurt the synergy they'd built up. They were taken out by Riddle in a spectacular series, and more than anything I think this shows the development of a roster who significantly improved over the course of the season. This team plays in a very aggressive manner, and the critical factor in their success is that they're all on the same page and willing to back each other up on these plays. I particularly want to mention Sloku, a rookie who has grown immensely over the course of the split and went from only really being comfortable in facilitators to being a relevant carry for his team. Riddle will be taking on Singularity in the next round. Singularity have just taken down Nordavind to earn a revenge for their spring playoffs run. It felt like Nordwind had a ton of curveballs and provided a lot of spice in the draft, which nearly had them take this series, but in the third game, despite having a solid gold lead, we saw them drop to Singularity as Singularity came out ahead with some clutch team fights on the back of their star carries, dragged on Fury. Fnatic Rising and Tricked are set up to face off in the upper bracket. We saw Fnatic grab a new mid laner with Feb Evans' retirement, and Dejo is an exciting prospect with a bit of experience playing in the Primeleague 2nd division and having hit 1000 LP challenger in solo queue. Tricked impressively managed to finish first in their group, and for me the players to watch have been their Danish carries, Poulsen and Devoxne, both of which have been vital for Tricked's success when it comes to team fights and have been very effective when given resources. The academy teams have been dominant in the NLC every season so far. It's always been Fnatic or Excel winning, but out of these 4 remaining teams, it's really hard to call a victor, and this has been our closest split yet. Be sure to tune in to see who claims the title.
Okay, I think it's fine. You'll do it. You'll make it. You'll make do with it, or whatever it's. Okay.
Hey, what's up?
Wow.
Okay. It's just weird. It's just weird. Whoa. Yeah. Anyways, have fun with I think Moonboy.
It's so f***ing hot. It's so f***ing hot. I can't take this anymore. It's so hot. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. It's so hot. That's the one. Use me.